Alright everybody, I've been a little slow to edit this one, so the actual date that this got edited is a little later than the actual date in the title, but this is a video log. This is a video log about the multimedia multiverse. Yeah, so let's talk about the beach. Yeah, and here I am in beach clothing, very tight genital crushing beach clothing, but acceptable beach clothing, and Mario was in some beach clothing, and Sonic also found his way into some interesting controversy. So, let's ramble about stuff that's in the news. Oh, and at the very end I'll throw in a little bit about Star Trek Discovery and the Orville. Hello! I'm Joey, and I'm going to talk about, some stuff. I'm going to fill myself with just enough caffeine from this salted caramel flavored beverage. Oh yeah. It even has a logo on it that some people think is a secret message from Satan or something like that. I'm going to talk about Mario and Sonic at Hooters. Well, not really. But wouldn't that be more interesting than Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games? I want to see Sonic and Mario at Hooters. And Star Trek Discovery. Why not throw in some comments on Star Trek Discovery? Because I don't ramble enough as it is. Anyway, a while back, Nintendo showed off some pictures of Mario on the beach. And he was dressed in stereotypical beach clothing, which meant he freed the nipples! Yep, how shocking. Super Mario doesn't wear a shirt on the beach. Because, do you wear a shirt on the beach? Is not shirtlessness an acceptable beach clothing, acceptable way to be dressed at the beach? I'm not sure, but, freeing the nipple seems acceptable at the beach. Well, depending on your gender, there are still some sexist gender roles that'll prevent some people from freeing the nipple at the beach. But, that level of censorship, I assume, would not apply to Mario. Because, people at the beach, they often go there when it's warm, and you don't need to wear a lot of clothing, and it's comfortable, and it's wet, and you want to minimize how much of your clothing gets wet, and... Well, if you've been living on this planet, and I assume you have, if you're watching this video... I probably don't need to explain this stuff. But anyway, yeah, Mario freed the nipple because he was at the beach and he wasn't wearing a shirt. And really, doesn't everybody want to free the nipple at the beach? Well, most places, women can't free the nipple at the beach currently because there's some people out there who just can't handle that. It's like, nipples, female nipples, holy fuck. Oh, think about the children, and the children only care because they know that it's taboo, and it's like, and then it becomes funny to them, unless they're at an age where they get aroused by it. But then they're not really children anymore, so it's like children don't give a fuck. But anyway, yeah, Mario freed the nipple at the beach. If he was female, I guess there are gender regulations. If he was female, he would have to wear some nipple burqas, or some sort of bikini top. But, that's not traditional male beach wear. So, no, Mario freed the nipples, and, the internet freaked out over it. And, well, I suppose they could have chosen not to put in that level of detail. After all, some characters... Does he have nostrils? Do they bother to show his nostrils? If you see his nose on that angle, do they... Maybe it is. I don't know. There's certain details that cartoon characters often just don't have drawn in. I don't remember. Was his belly button shown in that? Okay. No belly button. I don't know. But when you're at the beach, it was beach wear. Sonic the Hedgehog has always outdone Mario until around 2006 when Sega went to hell. And they just like, I don't care if we produce good games, just shovel out some more crap.
You know, it's like, rush Sonic 2006. We got an excellent plot. We got an awesome soundtrack. Let's make the gameplay so horrible that nobody could ever enjoy it. And, you know, it's been like that ever since. Some people like Sonic Colors. I have no idea how or why. That's one of the most boring games I ever suffered through. Generations was basically like a glorified demo disc of demos. I'd rather play the demos in Gems collection of the old Sonic games than Sonic Generations. It's like they glued it together with this really glossed over shitty story. Anyway, I don't know. Sonic Generations could have been so awesome, but whatever. So, some people actually like Sonic Unleashed, and it's like, to me, it's like they outdid Sonic 2006 and how horrible Sonic Unleashed was. And Sonic and the Secret Rings, that was just horrible. But it's always been the gameplay. They started screwing up the gameplay, and I'm just rambling. But no, Sonic, I mean, that first Sonic the Hedgehog game was more fun than anything Mario ever did. And everybody always compares the two. I don't think it's fair to compare the two, but right from the start, Sonic was outperforming Mario. So how does Sonic, a character who you never really see his nipples, you know, the way he's animated, I don't know, maybe they're off to the side where his blue quills start to cover things. Which brings about a question. With Sonic, with the characters of the Sonic universe, you ever notice the female characters wear more clothes than the male characters? I mean, they have fur and quills and stuff like that as clothing. You'd think it would be harder for the male characters to cover their genitals than the female characters. Well, I suppose if Amy Rose has the same bare chest as Sonic, then she would have freed the nipple. Which, as we have said, in today's culture, still, women need to wear nipple burqas. So I suppose that's why Amy Rose needs to wear a dress. I mean, they joke about how sexualized Rouge the Bat is. And, you know, it is kind of funny. But even she wears some sort of spandexy something, isn't it? Maybe she doesn't. I don't know, but I think Rouge the Bat was the first, the first Sonic character to have 3D jiggling breasts. Did they jiggle, or did they just kind of wiggle as she walked? I'll have to play Sonic 2 again. It's been a while. Sonic Adventure 2. Sonic Adventure 2 was an awesome game. But, anyway, what was I getting? Oh yeah, Sonic. How could he outdo Mario? Well, apparently Sega's been teaming up with Hooters for some reason, which I don't completely understand.
Yes, this image has been going around the internet and been shared by many news sites. Yep, Sonic at Hooters. Sonic teamed up with Hooters.
But it amuses me. Why Hooters? I don't know. I don't see the purpose in Hooters. Just go to a real strip bar. Yeah, we have women with breasts. Like, yeah? So you're promoting that fact? How about they take off their top? No, we don't do that at Hooters. It's like, well then what's the point in Hooters? Really, what is the point of Hooters? Anyway, you know, Mario freed the nipple, breast related. What could be more controversial than appropriate male nudity? How about the semi-inappropriate existence of Hooters? So I guess that's Sega's way of outdoing that whole nipple controversy. Yeah. And why the hell can't we have a real Sonic and Mario game? It's Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. But I want to see Mario and Sonic in a story-based game. I want to see Sega do their own version of Smash Brothers with all the amazing Sega characters from over the years, tying them together in a fascinating multi-universe story with maybe the Dark Falls from Phantasy Star somehow leaking into other universes, causing havoc in other points in space and time in multiple universes. I can dream. That would be awesome. It's like Super Smash Brothers was, especially Super Smash Brothers Brawl, that was awesome. And I thought to myself, how could this be better? It's like, oh, use Sega characters. That would have been even better if it wasn't just Sonic in there. But Sega has an amazing, vast catalog of awesome intellectual property, which is just underused. So do I have enough time on this camera before I have to do an edit, to talk about Star Trek Discovery? I saw Star Trek Discovery. Wasn't that bad. Do I like it more than the Orwell? Not really. Do I like the Orwell as much as I was hoping I would? Not really. Alright, there's an edit point. There's an edit point. I mispronounced the Orville as Orwell. Did I think they're both good? Good enough. I have some issues with Discovery. Not as bad as Star Trek 2009 or Star Trek Into Darkness. That was like pathetically stupid, those two movies. Star Trek Beyond was actually alright. And I love the splitting of the universe and timeline. So Star Trek Beyond, I love the idea of you doing something with that universe, because I actually like how the timeline was split into an alternate reality. But just everything about those movies was just so horribly stupid. Like the storytelling, I'll get rambling.
Okay, here's what I'm trying to get at when I talk about Star Trek Discovery and the Orville. And yeah, I rambled too much, so I'm going to try and break this down into something pretty simple, and we'll just stick in whatever in the background. You know what? Beach imagery is appropriate, considering the references to Mario earlier on in this video. Alright, basically what I'm trying to say is the drama of Star Trek Discovery in those first 2 episodes involved characters making decisions that I thought were bad choices and not impressive and not really that interesting. That said, I like that it kind of referenced the history of the Vulcans and the Klingons. Stuff like that was actually kind of interesting to me. I loved the new starship. Loved the new starship's captain. Oh, and spoiler alert here, I'm going to talk about the plot in a certain amount of detail that, if you haven't seen it, you might not want to already know this, but if you don't mind that fact, and I would assume you wouldn't, I mean, you know. You might want to skip to the last 20 seconds of the video if you don't want any spoilers. Okay, here come the spoilers. Yeah, I really loved the new captain and the new starship. And by the end of the 2-parter, I mean, that captain is dead and the starship is abandoned as destroyed with the escape pods flying out of it. So much for that new starship that I really liked and that new captain that I really liked. But this time the primary protagonist is not the captain. It's a character whom I couldn't get into because I didn't find her decision-making processes very logical or interesting. It's like she didn't have acceptable reasoning for breaking the chain of command. I know, there's almost a trope of Star Trek of when to break the chain of command, when it's appropriate for the captain and the crew to go against orders. It's been a reoccurring thing. They've already paralleled it on the Orville. And as I'm saying this, I've seen more episodes of both Discovery and the Orville as when I originally did this. This is just a quick ending for the sake of editing, and I've already rambled for 2.5 minutes in this quick ending edit that I'm sticking on the end of this video. But yeah, it's almost like a trope on when it's appropriate to break the chain of command in that type of science fiction, and it just didn't feel appropriate. So I like the new captain, I like the new starship, they're both gone. I like the new alien character, he seems interesting. I wish they would have, used an Andorian or some other species that was supposed to be in nearby space. Betazoid, that would have been great. I would have loved to have seen a Betazoid character. Yeah, I know, they're only really around in Next Generation. So what? I mean, even if they haven't joined the Federation yet as a member, they were in local space, It's like, they could use the Betazoids. And, an Andorian would have been great. I want to see Andorians in there, but, if they were gonna stick in a random new alien that had no business being generated out of nowhere, the character actually is a good character. I like the character. So I like the new alien character, he's cool. Like the new captain. Of course, the captain's gone. Love the new ship. The ship's gone. New captain, new ship. They're gone within 2 episodes. Doesn't that just suck? Not really a reason to check into episode 3. And I did like episodes 1 and 2 more than 3. Because, as I said, this I've now seen more now that I've procrastinated on editing this video. And I found that the Discovery wasn't as good as the Orville. I like the Orville even more. The Orville, my favorite episodes so far are episodes 1, 4, and 5. 2 was good, 3 was alright. 3 seemed like a morality tale that would have been outdated a long time ago, but at the same time, it had characteristics of it that made it an acceptable drama. I'm liking the Orville more than Star Trek Discovery, definitely. And I'm not as disappointed with Star Trek Discovery as I would have expected, but I don't care for the new Klingons. I'm not impressed with the overall tone. I don't find the writing that amazing. I just don't hate it as much as the horrible, horrible, horrible 2009 movie or Star Trek Into Darkness. Star Trek Beyond was actually okay, and I love the idea of splitting the timeline. I love that idea when they did that in the new movies. Unfortunately, every plot point other than that in the new movies just made the characters seem stupid. It seemed like things that were happening that were just shouldn't have. It was like they were... I would have accepted it as just watchable if it had been just dumb as in lacking intellectual value, but it was like an actual insult to the viewer's intelligence. Star Trek 2009 and Star Trek Into Beyond, or Star Trek Into Darkness. Now, Star Trek Beyond, I was okay with that one. Not my favorite Star Trek movie, but not that bad. Now, this TV show is doing better than those horrible movies, and I loved Star Trek Enterprise, still my favorite television show. I loved Enterprise, loved Next Generation, loved Deep Space Nine. I don't think Discovery has a chance in hell of me liking it as much as those shows, but there's a chance it might. There's a chance it might become that good. I don't know. It doesn't look like it, though. Will I like it as much as the original series? Probably not. I found Voyager kind of boring and disappointing, but I could still watch it and it still had great moments. I do think there's a chance that Discovery might be better than Voyager, but so far it's not really better than Voyager. It's about on par with Voyager. I can watch it, basically. I can watch it and look forward to the next episode with curiosity, though I'm not incredibly impressed. Though, like I said, in that first episode, I really liked the new captain who died, and I really liked the new starship that was abandoned. And I'm actually enjoying the Orville. The Orville looked like a show that I would really love. I had high expectations, didn't quite live up to them, but I still liked it. I liked it almost as much as I was hoping. Well, not really. I mean, I had really high expectations for it when I saw the previews for it, and I really like it. I wish it was a little less silly. I wish they would take their world building just a little bit more serious. Like some of the science fiction tropes they went a little too silly with. It's a little, I love Futurama, and but at the same time, it's a little too Futurama with not being Futurama, if you know what I mean. And I really should stop rambling about that, because I plan to do an entirely different video talking about the Discovery and Orville, Star Trek Discovery and the Orville. So I should just cut this short. And yeah, basically, I like the Orville. I like it more than Star Trek Discovery, but they're both all right. And that's well, actually, they could go downhill. The Orville, I think its quality level has been established. Star Trek Discovery, it's a little hard to say. It's a little hard to say about where they're going with this series. The new Klingons were not impressive. The idea of the Klingons disappearing for 100 years was not impressive. Though, interestingly enough, they completely disappeared, but they seem to be randomly doing acts of war against the Federation, yet not going to war with the Federation. Yeah. So there's a lot that I found unimpressive about Discovery. So anyway, yeah, that's me rambling about Star Trek Discovery and the Orville. And I recommend checking out the Orville. And do I recommend checking out Star Trek Discovery? Yeah, only if you're curious about it. If you're in the States, I guess it is a little harder to watch if you don't have CBS All Access or CBS whatever. Here in Canada, they've been repeatedly airing it on the Space Channel quite a bit. So anyway, this is the end of my ramble. There's other videos I have made, and by all means, feel free to check them out. I'd be perfectly happy if you checked out some more of my videos. So, yeah. That's it. If you want to watch another one of my videos, there's more out there.